ever could. By the time Bumpy arrived at the scene 40 minutes later, the crowd had dispersed. The preserves were still there, drying in the August heat, flies gathering around the sweetness. Bumpy stood at the exact spot where Mabel had stood. He looked up at James's window, looked across at Delilah's usual parking spot, looked at the doorway where Marcus had been stationed, counted sightlines, calculated angles, built a three-dimensional map of who saw what from where. Tommy stood 3 feet behind him, waiting. "The cop," Bumpy said without turning around. "Name: Patrick Callahan, Precinct 28, 31 years old, 6 years on the Harlem beat. Reputation for putting hands on people. 3 complaints filed, all dismissed. Lives in Queens, drinks at Sullivan's in the Bronx. Owes money to bookies in 3 different neighborhoods." Bumpy nodded once, the kind of nod that says, "I asked and you delivered, and now the real work begins." "Gather them. Tonight, 9 o'clock. The usual place. All 7. Tommy's eyebrows went up. "All 7. You sure you want to pull in the full council for this?" "A cop slapped my sister in front of 30 witnesses. He did it in public because he wanted to send a message. Now I send one back. But not just to him. To every cop in this city who thinks a badge means they can put hands on our people without paying for it. This is not about revenge, Tommy. This is about education. By the time I'm finished, every officer in the NYPD will know there are lines you do not cross. And the first line is my family." The decision to convene the Council of 7 was not made lightly. The council existed in the shadows of Harlem's power structure. 7 individuals who each controlled a crucial piece of the neighborhood's operations. They rarely met all together. The last time all 7 had gathered in the same room was 2 years ago when Dutch Schultz tried to move back into Harlem after the Italians pushed him out of the Bronx. That meeting lasted 20 minutes. Schultz left Harlem and never came back. 3 weeks later, he was dead in a New Jersey chop house. But that was a different story involving different players. Tonight's meeting would be longer. Tonight's meeting would chart the course of 72 hours that would redefine what it meant to wear a badge in Harlem. The 7 arrived separately. Tommy Reed came.
Hello? Yeah. Right here, some of them right by running shop now I come up. Alright.
Came first, walking through the back entrance of the Cotton Club at 8:45. Ray Chambers arrived next. A thin man with wire-rimmed glasses who looked like a librarian but ran the most sophisticated information network in Manhattan. Jerome Davidson followed, the only lawyer in Harlem who could argue a case in front of white judges and win. Clara Washington. Samuel's mother and the dispatcher at Precinct 28 slipped in through the side door at 8:55 wearing a coat over her uniform. Delilah Monroe arrived at 9 exactly. The woman who ran numbers out of 3 speakeasies and maintained connections with the Italian families. Marcus Hayes, the teenager from the doorway, showed up at 9:02 with a notebook full of Callahan's movements. And finally, at 9:05, an older man named Solomon Hayes walked in, moving slow like every step cost him something. Solomon was the oldest member of the council. He had been in Harlem since before the Great War, before the neighborhood became what it was now. He rarely spoke, but when he did, people listened because Solomon Hayes had survived longer than anyone had a right to survive in their profession. Bumpy sat at the head of the table, not because he demanded it, Because the 7 chairs arranged themselves that way naturally. The way water flows downhill. The way power settles into place when everyone agrees where it belongs. On the table in front of him, a single bullet. Brass casing catching the light from the bulb overhead. A .45 caliber round that could end a life in less than a second if someone chose to use it that way.